for Senegal. Special thanks to the Senegalese youths who made this historic event happen. France has suffered another crushing defeat in Africa. Thank you. Thank you, President-elect Faye. Thank you, the Senegalese youths. We salute you. Now the question is for the Nigerian youths. Nigerian youths, you have been busy sharing this historic feat by the youths of Senegal. Remember in 2017, when Macron first came, all right, a movement known as Youth Takeover Movement came alive in Nigeria. By 2018, that movement had died. And then Nigerian youths went back to square zero, lining behind those who created the hell, the worsening hell that Nigeria has become. Yes. Not too long after that, another movement came up. And that movement was called Not Too Young to Run. In that election, a lot of youths came forward, but they did not see their peers. They did not see the youths of Nigeria lining behind fellow youths. The Nigerian youths, once again, defaulted and lined behind those who brought their economy on its belly. Prior to the 2023 election, 2 years before that, there was a youth event too. And SARS, big in Lagos. Yes, some people were shot. But I would think that the shooting of those children, many of them would have spurred the whole country's youths to decisively end the tragedy of leadership. They opened food warehouses and the Nigerian youths derailed. They went for the food and abandoned their liberation struggle. Today, here we are. In that year, there was a standby election. There was a by-election in Lagos State, Lagos East Senatorial District. A young Nigerian girl was in that race, Mercy Abosede. Yes, she was in that race in Lagos State, the hub of activities. We thought that the youths of Nigeria would line behind her to secure a senatorial win for her. But no. Again, the young people of Nigeria, especially in Lagos State, went for one of their killers. Yes. Now, the question is, Nigerian youths, where are you? 2023 came. Obedient movement. Yes, the registration was historic. The registration to vote was such that was unprecedented, even in the history of Africa. There had never been a time like that people were so eager, so conscious about registering to vote. When it was time to vote, how many young people of Nigeria came out to vote? The total number of people who voted in this past election, the sham election, that was supposed to be a historic and a decider for the destiny of Nigeria. They were not up to 30 million voters at the end of the whole thing, out of over 100 million people who registered to vote. Now you are sharing a success history of President-elect Faye and the greatest Senegalese youths. I think this is a moment for you to introspect on how ignorant most of you Nigerian youths are. You're only interested in dancing silly music. You're only interested in making fast, quick money that will lead you anywhere. You don't follow the truth. It's so bad that your country is led by criminals at all levels. Your president is a drug dealer, a fraudster, a certificate forger, and an identity thief. His vice is a terrorist, known terrorist, incontrovertible. The Senate president is one who never won an election, but today is the Senate president. You hear stories of leaked videos, leaked audios about how these people are wrecking your country. You are still silent. An election came, 2023 election, even as bad as the turnout of voters was. The results were cooked. They were brazenly destroyed. Ballots, some people were prevented from voting. Some people were told because they did not immediately come from Lagos State that they needed to get back to their home states. In a country that is supposed to be theirs. You Nigerian youths that we have been talking to, we risk our lives. We put our resources on the line. We put our families in danger. We put everything about us in danger because of you. But no, you will not. Somebody announced a result that was not and foisted it on the people of Nigeria. You, the young people of Nigeria, could not come together to contest it like the Senegalese did. Do you know Faye and Sonko were in jail up to a few weeks to this election? Yes. Thank you, Maggie Fletcher. Thank you. I'm talking about Nigeria. The corruption in Nigeria, even among the young people, is disheartening. It presents no hope for the future of that country. The young people in Nigeria are so corrupt. They don't learn any positive vices, but look up to those who are wrecking their country. Those are the ones that they look up to for examples. They don't like what I'm saying. It doesn't matter to a lot of them. It's another waste of time to them. Even as their country is falling apart by the second. Even as their country is the most insecure country on earth as it stands right now. Even as their country has no access to food right now. Yes, not because the country is in a drought, not because the country is going through a famine, but because of some people who do not want the good of the country. Put mercenaries in forests across the country that are seizing lands, seizing our forests, causing a grave national security crisis as a result of food insecurity. Nigerian youths are so docile. They don't want to do anything, but they like to share success stories of other countries. In their own country, they don't want to do anything. Can you imagine a country being led by a drug dealer? Can you imagine this a country with a vice president who is a known terrorist? Can you imagine a country whose defense minister is a terrorist? How can that country be secure? Nigerian youths are quiet. They are self-centered. They don't want to take responsibility for anything. They robbed a presidential candidate of victory in an election. Yeah, part of the problem was for that candidate because he's not a revolutionary. If he was a revolutionary who wanted to die for the country, who cared about the country so much, he would have been at the forefront of saying, no, we are not going to have this anymore. Now he's busy working ahead of 2027 when we are still in 2023. Yeah, that is how bad things are in Nigeria right now. It's so sad that we are where we are. All right? They need to wake up and fight. If not, they will always stay like that. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Fletcher. Thank you very much. And, I hope they get this message. We talk to them nicely. We tell them about the consequences of what they do. They don't. And when you say anything now, like I tell them something, somebody told the Nigerian youth that they are lazy. They got angry that they are not. They started attacking, printing all kinds of. That's what they are good at. But they shy away from the real issue. How can you, in this 21st century, Nigeria with its strategic position in Africa and the world is led by criminals, all round criminals. In the National Assembly, criminals. The presidency, criminal. In the establishment, criminals. The military is run by rogues. How can we go on and on and on? Yes, everything. Oh, electricity in Nigeria is the biggest of a joke. So this is where we are. And we are busy blaming others for our problems. We don't think about what we have created for our own selves. If we cannot organize ourselves, yes, people from outside will take undue advantage of us. That is the story of my country, a country that I so love. The country, an edifice of a country with just everything, a heaven on earth that we failed to build. Yes, that is the story of Nigeria. They are busy right now sharing messages about Senegal, how great Senegal youths are, but they are not looking at themselves. When you how, what is the problem of Jesus with what we are doing in Nigeria? Jesus does not play politics. Jesus does not vote in elections. God gave you the right, gave you the dominion to decide your future, to decide your destiny. If you choose not to, because that is a part of the basic human right, the right to choice. If you choose not to be responsible, you pay cost for it. And that is what we are all suffering. I am 62. I'm going to be 62 this year. Don't be deceived about how young I look. I'm fighting for the Nigerian youths. And I don't even see them lining behind me. Yes, I don't see them. You will never see them. Whenever everything about them is transactional. Money, 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 money. How can you, a young person, a real citizen, a patriot, expect someone to pay him in order to be responsible? Expect someone to pay him to protest against injustice in his country, injustice against his own generation. They will expect you to pay them. They will expect you to feed them. They will expect you to pamper them. Yes, when they protest, it's like a carnival. It's like a party. They will put drinks. They will put food. Who does that in a country? I tell them, I always refer them to Egypt. When the Egyptians decided that they did not want Hosni Mubarak anymore, they came from all over Egypt. Some trekked, some rode bicycles. Yes, until Mubarak was removed. Not even a few months later, they removed two other Egyptian presidents. Morsi was removed, the other one before him was removed. Yes, in a space of 6 months, until they got what they believe was they could comfortably walk. Nigerian youths are not willing to make any sacrifices. They want you to beg them. They want you to pay them as if you are an investor working for a return on your investment. That is how criminals have taken over the country. That is how evil men have taken over the country. That is how rogue traditional rulers have taken over, destroyed their country. Yes, that is how fake religious leaders and false prophets who keep prophesying foolishness for them, and they believe that they are right. And look at where the country is. The country is virtually finished as we speak. The armed forces is no more armed forces. It's not an armed forces of Nigeria. The armed forces that fight alongside terrorists to repress the people. Yes, and armed forces that will go into a small community illegally and start killing people there. Armed forces that are involved in oil theft. Yes, and go solid mineral mining. Yes, that's what we have in Nigeria. Nigeria has become like Colombia of many years ago. Lawlessness, brigandage. Yes, in Nigeria that has a legislature that will appropriate money for them, money that is much more than the education ministry's budget. Yes, into the pockets of 108 criminals calling themselves senators in Nigeria. Nigerian youths still don't see any reason to come together to go there and chase them out. Yes, pursuant to their rights to self-determination. Nigerian youths, you have a problem. Serious problem. Serious problem. Well, as usual, I thank all those who share in our message. Thanking Maggie Fletcher and all those who tuned in just to watch this. I know you are lovers of Nigeria and lovers of Africa. Please do us a favor, share this message. Let's continue to talk to these people, hoping that the recent event in Senegal will perhaps wake them up. We have now how many countries that have liberated themselves from the clutches of imperialism? Well, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, perhaps Guinea, and now Senegal. Yes, five. Five so far. And we are looking. I'm hoping that. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Hoping that South Africans, theirs is so strategic. If they can elect Julius Malema, president of South Africa, I think one half of Africa will go for Pan-Africanism within the first 1 year of his tenure. I am hoping because the guy, with a lot of influence. We are hoping and working with him, with Professor Patrick Lumumba, the man who has been, going everywhere in Africa preaching this same message that I'm preaching right now. We are charging behind them from the United States, where some of us are. Now, for me, I cannot come to Nigeria now. I'm a big national security threat to those who are killing Nigeria. So they have my name all over at the airports. I wish I was inside the country at the moment, but now you come in, they will just hold you and then keep you incommunicado. So that is another voice loss. So strategically, we are charging from everywhere around the world to hopefully inspire those in Nigeria to stop listening to these criminals they call religious leaders and their fake traditional rulers, especially in the north of Nigeria, where one man will wake up and tells the north that not the whole of the north now. The north is falling apart right now. There's this north in the grip of a few Fulani elites. Yes, about 10 states in that north, where over 20 million Hausa poor children, now aged between 6 and 12, are thrown in the wild, begging for arms when they are supposed to be in schools. They have no form, they have no structure. That is how evil, the evil that is plaguing Nigeria from that part of the country. They keep them uneducated, they keep them repressed, they turn them into weapons to blackmail and intimidate the whole of Nigeria. They are the reason Nigeria is so unstable right now, security-wise. So those people in the north of Nigeria, especially the Hausa people, we are targeting them with our messages to inspire them to liberate themselves from 220 years of subjugation by the Fulani elites, with ties to Usman Dan Fodio, who created a very, 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 very destructive jihad in 1804. Thank you very much for listening, and I love you guys. God bless Africa. I see Africa rising, and it will never fall again. The fear of Africa uniting is the threat that the imperial powers have, because they know that if Africa unites under one government, under one economy, under one legislature, with one reserve bank, and without borders, Africa will turn the world power. But they don't want that. They want Africa to remain in plantation for them to come and steal our minerals and go away with it. Look at what is taking place in Congo. Well, that's a story for another day. Thanks for taking the time to listen. I love you all. Bye now.